Hey there, it's Dr. Shanae Turan of SP Consulting Group. I am your organizational development psychologist, as well as a licensed clinical social work therapist and executive leadership wellness strategist. So I combine not just the theories of leadership, not just the theories of psychology, but I really combine the elements of cognition and the neural pathways and organizational change and development, recovery, and how a leader really stays in a place of having optimal results, long lasting change, and sustainability in the ways in which they impact the world around them. So, just a thought for you. Um, Let me just start off with this leadership truth. I'm going to start off with this leadership truth that most people learn the hard way. Okay. And that is authority can be assigned. Credibility cannot. So, for this particular session, we're going to be looking at the foundations of credibility. We've been talking about building relationship. We've been talking about what is it that people want from our leaders. But you can be given, and this is the truth, you can be given a title overnight, but trust that builds slowly. And so, the things that we're talking about as we continue on this short leadership series on credibility, we have to understand that people don't follow leaders they simply report to. They follow leaders that they trust. And so research is very much consistently showing that followers look for four qualities in credible leaders. And in our last video, we talked about honesty, we talked about competence, we talked about leaders that have a vision and can inspire. We're not talking about perfection. So there's been a couple of elements that have been shared as far as relationship building and retaining and or gaining credibility. And we have to remember that this is not about perfection, but alignment between who you say you are and how you lead. So there's a scripture that speaks to this long before leadership books did, and that's Proverbs 11:3. And it said that the integrity of the upright guides them. Integrity is not just a moral concept. It's not just something to do. And like I said, I don't just teach or preach about, if you want to use that term, leadership in theory. We're talking about leadership strategy. People trust leaders whose values are predictable. So let's talk about some 3 tips that I want to share with you guys today in this particular video. And again, I won't be before you long. I try to keep it around 10 to 15 minutes. Try not to go over that so that you can fit it in your busy day. But our tip today for tip 1 is make your values visible. And this is really about not assuming that people know what matters to you. Credible leaders communicate their values on a consistent basis. Okay. So that's something to take and actually even do a little journaling about it, if you would, of how do you do that? How do you make your values visible? Tip number 2, repeat the vision often. Don't, just assume that people remember what you said a month ago or a year ago. People don't follow confusion also. So if they're confused, they're going to start to disconnect. They actually more so follow direction, clear direction. And credible leaders talk about where we're going more than, oh, this is what we went through. So think about that. Don't live in the past, but be in a place where you repeat the vision often. That's tip 2. Tip 3 is lead with consistency. We talked about that. So this is the thing. There is, I think, a disconnect between people believing that consistency means we see you every day. We didn't say daily, doing the same things. You may be behind the scenes taking care of yourself. And so when we're talking about leading with consistency, we're coming from the standpoint that trust grows when behavior becomes predictable. People can understand where you're coming from. They know where you're going. They know why you do a thing. They can pretty much predict, right? They're not in your mind, but your team and the people that follow you should never have to wonder which version of you they'll get, right? So here's a real-time leadership step. I want you to grab a notebook or type this into your phone, and I want you to finish the sentence. As a leader, I want to be known for, and then fill in the blanks, right? As a leader, for example, I want to be known for being honest and practical. As a leader, I want to be known for being bold in decisions that I make for the greater good. I don't want to go in a place where I'm so focused on, oh, let me not do this, let me not do this. So, this particular activity, as far as like something you can actually do to start to bring what we're talking about to life, and that is to answer that question for yourself. As a leader, I want to be known for, and then fill in the blank. Okay. And take a little moment, think about that, let it resonate and marinate. Like, what do I want to be known for? And like, go beneath the surface. Now, ask yourself this: what behaviors would people need to see consistently in order to believe that? What would they need to see? Because credibility is not declared, it is observed. So again, we're talking about leadership, we're talking about relationship as a leader. How do we cultivate a relationship that is built on credibility, trust, honesty? And sometimes it really, I wouldn't even say sometimes, every time, and you've heard me say this, leadership does start with you. Right. So if we know that credibility is observed, it's the things that you do, have a moment to self check and say, what do I do? How do I show up? And that way, you will put yourself in a position to really align better with the outcomes. And that is, hey, I want this to be the outcome. I want people to trust me and for them to know that I can lead this charge. Okay, well, what are you doing to get that result? Right. So for this week, this is sort of your task. That's your homework. Figure out what you want to be known for as a leader if you haven't already, and maybe even check in with yourself if you've already done this type of activity. But I want you to get to a point where, as we go into what we'll be doing next week, we'll be talking about something leaders rarely discuss, which is how you might be doing things to lose credibility. And if you're not understanding how credibility is lost, it can happen in small moments. It can happen in the blink of an eye that you not even realize you made a bad decision. You sent a crazy email, but it happens where it's lost very quickly and hard to regain. But it does happen in those small moments that leaders usually barely notice. Okay. So let me just tell you again, I'm going to do a quick recap. Your 3 leadership tips for the week or the weekend, depending on when you watch this. The tip 1 is make your values visible. 2, repeat the vision often. What is it that you're wanting to see? What do you want to come to life? What do you want to be the end result? And 3, lead with consistency. It's not about not taking breaks and overworking to show you're so consistent. No, it's what can people predict from you? One thing that people can predict to me is we're going to talk about wellness. We're going to talk about God, be consistent. And so what you're going to do is take a moment to practice some introspective type journaling and ask yourself, as a leader, what do I want to be known for? Like, as a leader, I want to be known for, and fill in the blank. Okay. So again, next week, we'll be talking about how credibility is lost. And again, how often it is that small moments in leadership actually create this loss, but it's barely noticed. Okay. So I'll just say bye for now. Again, this is Dr. Turan of SP Consulting Group, your organizational development psychologist, as well as your licensed clinical social work therapist. And we're going to keep it going with this series on leadership credibility during a time where it is questionable in more places than they should be. But those that are watching this, feel free to share. Feel free to reach out to me. I am accepting clients. Feel free. You can reach me at www.officialspcg.com. So I'll just say bye for now. You guys take care.